Hey, what's going on, everybody? You already know who it is. It's the Mad Hatter. As always, thank y'all for checking me out. Spending another day in Babylon, just trying to keep my head above water is all. Nothing too excruciatingly painful happening in my life or nothing like that. But, just being alive is difficult enough. But let me go ahead and get into this talk right now. So, if you guys haven't been paying attention, there's a lot of stuff that's been happening between Donald Trump and his administration and black culture, I guess, black leaders, all that stuff. So recently, I don't know if you guys saw this, but if you don't know what's going on, he's meeting with black leaders from HBCUs, which are historically black colleges. He had them all come over to the White House in the Oval Office, 64 of them, and you got KellyAnne Conway, his I think spokeswoman or something like that. Not the press secretary, but she's some sort of spokeswoman. But she's on the damn couch, on her knees, like with her, with her feet behind her, on a couch, putting her feet up all on the couch, and just like in a very non-professional gesture, And it gets me to think, like, I don't know. I think she always acts like this, but the fact that it was around black people, esteemed black people, black leaders, and this is kind of how she treats this meeting, lets me know a little bit about what's going on with this Trump administration and their professionalism and how they view black people, you know. And then they're talking about the HBCU, and one of the things that they did is they actually moved HBCUs, which were under the Department of Education, to the White House Domestic Policy Council. Now, I don't know exactly what this is, but I do know that it's going to give the White House more control of what goes on with HBCUs, right? So I think we should be wary of this, especially as black people. We should definitely be wary because this removes us from federal protections, our schools from federal protections, which is, preventing a lot of stuff like racial discrimination, for instance. So if those schools are not under the Department of Education, that means that certain laws won't apply to them. So that's really interesting to see how that's going to turn out, right? I'm really interested to see how that goes. And I think this also kind of goes to the whole thing where, like, Betsy Devos, the education secretary, she's very big on using vouchers or these grants for school. So is this a move for the Trump presidency and the Trump administration to make us more privatized, to make school more privatized, to push religion onto black schools more so than there already is? I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on, but I definitely am wary. So, and the one thing that that really got me, that what Betsy DeVos said, was that she was like, this is a great opportunity to show the world, school choice. She was like, this is a great representation of school choice, not understanding why HBCUs were there to begin with. Like, as an education secretary, you don't understand that? You don't understand that blacks were killed, lynched, murdered for trying to learn and try to read? We weren't allowed to have access to certain schools, to white schools. Like, is she not aware of that? Like, this just shows me how out of touch they are, man. And I mean, these people are so out of touch. I don't even care what their intentions are at this point. And for us as black people to just keep, like, I keep seeing leaders time and time again, fall victim to this. Like, it's like, what? Trump's giving us a little bit of money toward our schools, and now we're willing to throw away everything that he said? I mean, do we remember the federal government sued Trump and his father back decades ago in NYC because of housing discrimination? Now, this is alleged, obviously, but Trump then tries to countersue, but the courts blocked that. He says he hasn't admitted guilt, but they actually brought in this woman who was like a tester, and she goes in to get a house. This is like back in Queens or Brooklyn, I believe, in New York, and she goes in, right, and she attempts to first they send a black person in, and there's a sign that says for sale, for rent. And then, he goes and talks to the whoever's in charge, and they say, I'm sorry, we're actually all booked. And he's like, well, the sign is there. And the guy says, oh, oops, I'm sorry. Or the woman, they say, oops, I'm sorry, we forgot to take the sign down. And then they have a white woman come in, and they open it up to her. So this was a test that was done by a separate group, and this is what they found. So are we willing to forget how Trump thinks? And just because he's throwing us a bone here or there, because he's throwing us a bone, we're supposed to just buy it? I don't know, man. I'm a little wary of what's gonna happen to our black schools. Hopefully, they'll remain strong. They'll remain independent for the most part, and hopefully this whole education thing gets fixed. You know, because it's fucked up. But that's where I want to leave that. You guys, let me know what you think. Again, as always, thanks for checking me out. If you like this, give it a thumbs up. If you don't, give it a thumbs down. Leave a comment, whatever, and I'll catch you guys next time.